Here's my practice update. It's the usual update. I haven't practiced for 3 months, but I've decided to put together this practice with me video. Shout out to Jose from Brownsville, a 7th grader who's going to be trying out for the all region band in 1 month. Jose reached out to me through email, and so I decided to put this practice with me video together and kind of see where my embouchure is after all these months. And I was kind of scared to sit down and practice because I honestly wasn't sure how my lip was going to feel. But I can honestly say that the work that I did last year re-establishing my embouchure really has made a difference. Wow, I can hardly believe it. I sat down, went through the music, and I could play it. My lip felt great at the end of 30 minutes of practice. I've proven to myself that the work I've done on my embouchure is sustainable and it's legit. I'm excited to share what I've learned this past year. So practice with me. The first thing we should do when we're learning an etude piece is number the measures. Now this is an excerpt, so we're going to start from measure 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I can tell we're in 4/4 time, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the down arrows of where you tap your foot on every measure. So this is beat 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, now I'm going to clarify where the 8th rests are. So this is in up of your foot, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, 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 down, down. Sometimes the little 8th rests confuse us. So let's look for some fingerings that we can mark. So that there's no confusion. So D is 1, and then we have D sharp, which is going to be 2, E natural. And it's B natural, so let's put a T2. Just as a reminder, T2, T2 and 3 for the C sharp, T2, 3 for the G sharp. There's another D sharp, which is 2, E natural. Second open, second, T2, 3. E's are natural. Trigger 1, 2. And this is, it's not F sharp. Trigger 2, 3. B natural, trigger second. Trigger second. Trigger second for the B's because they are B natural. And it's not F sharp. B natural, low A, semi-low A. Okay, so here's some basic things we've written down. Now let's practice. I have not touched my horn in 3 months, so I am going to sight read one line at a time. I will sight read through the line and then talk about how we can practice each measure so that we don't split notes and so that we play the correct rhythm. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, the first thing is play your first note before you start. Okay, now in measure 1, these are just clean tongued notes, no specific articulation. So what you want to do is keep your air moving through each note. Okay, so I split a note there. Keep your air moving fast in between the notes. Okay, I'm obviously taking this very slow. Okay, now in line 2, we have some staccato notes. So now you're going to individualize the notes with your air. Okay. Okay, now those are 16th notes in measure 16. However, there's no staccato articulation. So let's play them a little longer, even though they are 16th notes. So I'm going to start in measure 15. forgot. The accidental goes through the measure. So we have G sharp. I'm going to write it in G sharp. It's a little reminder. And now let's start on the third line. Ready? Rest. Okay, let me start over. The breath needs to be quicker so that we can get in on the upbeat of 3. Here's measure. This is line 3. Okay, so splitting notes is pretty common, obviously. So what we're going to do is control our airstream a little better. This is measure 18. Same thing. Quick breath so we can get in on the upbeat of 3. And again, in the third line, don't forget the G sharp. That's repeated because of the accidental. The accidental carries through the entire measure. Now here's the last line, which is the last measure and a quarter note. Okay, that was too bouncy. Okay. So I think your judge is going to be looking for the differences in your articulation because you have regular articulated notes, which is just a regular to or ta, and then you have slurs. You got to be careful to articulate the first note in the slur, and then you don't use your tongue, you just use your air. And then we have staccato notes, which you need to make them sound different by stopping the air in between the notes. That's how you work these little staccatos, okay? So let's talk about the measure 9, the first measure. Okay, so these are just regularly articulated notes. Your air keeps moving. So, okay, your air continues to move, but your tongue is interrupting your airstream. Two, 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 two. Your airstream doesn't stop. Then you have in the second measure your slur. You have a defined articulation on the first note of the slur, and then your air carries those notes. And then you have regularly tongued notes. You're either using do or to or ta, whatever articulation you like to use. But then we have our staccatos in the second line. Okay, so I'm going. If you put your hand in front of your mouth and you go, and you can feel each individual puff of air, that is going to really emphasize these tiny staccatos. And the way to not split your note when you reset for that note, and your air has to be fast behind the articulation, fast behind your tongue, so you don't split the note. Okay, so now the other thing that's happening here is we have scale patterns like in the third measure, measure 11, okay? Okay, that's just your basic scale pattern. So the way you prepare for playing these passages is practice your scales. Okay, so we're in the key of C, right? There's no sharps or flats. I don't know if my chin's moving a lot. Okay, so practice your scale patterns because that's what you have. And then in the second line, we've got these notes are close together with a leap, like in measure 13. I would definitely take a breath. Wherever you have a rest, you can take a breath. And here, between measure 15 and 16, take a breath where the dotted half note is. Okay, I'm not kidding that I have not touched my horn in 3 months. But the previous 9 months, I was rebuilding my embouchure and resetting my corner seal. And I can definitely tell the difference. So my recommendation is, especially if you're having any issues with endurance, like you play through this and your lip is tired, you can save your energy by keeping your bottom lip like in. This lip, it's basically like suck on your bottom lip, okay? And then put your mouthpiece down there. Okay, and I'm not concerned about my tone quality. I'm just concerned about getting the note. And honestly, the way our instrument sounds in our ear, because the bell's right here, it's different than what it sounds on the other side. So I think aiming for accuracy and power is more important than just trying to get a smooth, glorious sound. Because actually, on the other side of the instrument, it sounds a lot different. It sounds smoother. It sounds glorious. Okay, to our ear right here, it might not sound like that. But on the other side of the instrument, to the audience, it does. So we want to play with power and strength and accuracy. This past year, I played with some groups that had volunteers, and they played very carefully with small sounds, tiny, tiny tones, okay? And I played for so long with the Valley Symphony Orchestra that I just learned how to play with a lot of power, a lot of air, and I think it's better to play with a lot of air and power, but with accuracy, not with timidity. And your judges are going to be listening for that. I think this song, this little etude excerpt from an etude can demonstrate all those layers in your playing. Forte, I would say play measure 15 and 16 with power. And then in the third line we've got piano, okay? Which we'll play it with piano, but we still have to have a fast airstream. So 15, measure 15, I'm rolling in my bottom lip, and I'm really not pressing. Okay, so in the third line, there's this thing you can do. And it is you hold back some of the air, okay, as you go higher to make it easier. I'm going to go back to 15. But okay, this is 17. Pickups. Okay, let's talk about how we are getting to the low A. Okay, I stretch my lip. When I'm playing the E, I go from this to kind of stretching my lips to get to the low A. For not having played my instrument for 3 months, my lip feels amazing. See, I played fourth horn, I played low horn, and when you're playing low horn all the time, your embouchure adjusts to playing those notes. And when you play low horn, your lips more like this. When you play high horn, your lips like this. And yeah, it's just so much better for endurance. I could still hear air seeping out my corners. Um, but it's not a matter of just keeping your corners tight. Okay, it's not just keeping your corners tight. It's the seal and the corners. It's almost like a ziplock. Your corners go over. Now, some people, their corner seal is the opposite. Their lower lip. I've watched a lot of videos of horn players, and their lower lip is making the corner seal. But with me, all right, top lip comes down like that. And you can always do a little retard at the end, a little slow down, because that's a musical thing to do. Yeah, so like I said at the beginning of this video, I have totally proven to myself that the work that I did to establish my embouchure was actually legit, because after 3 months of not practicing, I can get back into the saddle and I can play. Okay, this is only 68. Quarter note equals 68. Play your first note. 1, 2, ready. Good luck at all region. Thanks for watching.